Love the Ravens as much as we do? Then smash that subscribe button and stay locked in with Flock News for all the drama, updates, and excitement all season long. The NFL world woke up to absolute chaos this morning as reports began to swirl that ZAY, the electric wide receiver of the Baltimore Ravens, has officially walked out on the team. That's right, according to multiple insiders close to the situation. Flowers packed up his belongings and left the Ravens facility without saying a word. To coaches or teammates, the news broke like wildfire on social media, and within minutes, fans across the country were flooding timelines with disbelief, memes, and conspiracy theories. What could possibly drive one of the league's most promising young receivers to abandon a team that's currently in playoff contention? This isn't just a random roster move. This feels personal, emotional, and messy. The Ravens front office has yet to make a public statement, but sources within the locker room are already describing the atmosphere as shocked and tense. ZAY, who has been one of Lamar Jackson's favorite targets this season, seemed perfectly fine just days ago during practice footage released by the team, but now everything has changed. Something clearly snapped behind the scenes, and if the rumors are true, this could turn into one of the biggest mid-season dramas the NFL has seen in years. What's even crazier is that this situation didn't come out of nowhere. The warning signs might have been there all along. Those who follow the Ravens closely know that ZAY has always been vocal about wanting a larger role in the offense. Especially after a few weeks of declining targets, there were subtle hints in his interviews, slight frustrations caught on the sidelines, and that one cryptic social media post last week that read, "Sometimes you gotta bet on yourself." Fans brushed it off at the time, but now it feels like a giant red flag we all missed. The tension between young star receivers and their quarterbacks or coordinators isn't new in the NFL, but Flowers' decision to walk out mid-season, that's next-level drama. It's not just a contract issue, not just about touches. Insiders are whispering that there's been a breakdown in communication between ZAY and the coaching staff, possibly even a personal disagreement. Some even claim he felt disrespected by recent play-calling decisions that didn't utilize his explosiveness. Whatever the truth is, this move is shaking the very foundation of Baltimore's season. The Ravens' offense without ZAY instantly loses one of its most dangerous weapons. Now, the million-dollar question: where does ZAY go from here? Because if he truly intends to part ways with the Ravens, the list of teams eager to get their hands on him would be massive. We're talking about one of the most dynamic rookies of the past few years, a player with elite acceleration, crisp route running, and an unmatched ability to turn short passes into long gains. Think about franchises desperate for receiver help. Teams like the Chiefs, Bills, or Cowboys could be circling like sharks at this very moment. But here's the tricky part. Technically, he's still under contract. Walking out doesn't mean he's a free agent. It means potential fines, suspensions, and a looming war between player and organization. If this turns into a formal trade request, we might witness one of the most chaotic trade sagas in recent memory. Fans are already speculating on Twitter Spaces, Reddit threads, and podcasts, trying to decode ZAY's next move. It's not just football anymore. It's theater, drama, and pure entertainment. And make no mistake, the entire league is watching Baltimore right now, waiting for the next shoe to drop. Inside sources are hinting that Lamar Jackson, ZAY's quarterback and close friend, is deeply frustrated by this sudden twist. Reports claim that Lamar tried reaching out multiple times this morning, but Flowers didn't pick up. That silence speaks volumes. Chemistry between a quarterback and a receiver is sacred in football, and when one side walks away without explanation, it cuts deep. Fans remember how locked in those two were just a few weeks ago. The deep roots, the sideline celebrations, the smiles after every big play. Now, all of that feels shattered. Some fans are blaming the Ravens coaching staff, saying offensive coordinator Todd Monken hasn't figured out how to fully unleash Flowers' potential. Others argue that ZAY is acting impulsively, putting emotion over professionalism. The truth probably lies somewhere in the messy middle, but what's clear is that this situation has created a dark cloud over Baltimore's locker room. The media circus has already arrived, cameras lined up outside the facility, players avoiding interviews, and the team's PR department working overtime to control the narrative. What's particularly interesting is how this moment could define ZAY career trajectory. The NFL is a league that loves talent but never forgets controversy. Walking out mid-season, even for valid reasons, sticks to your reputation. Think about players in the past who tried to take control of their careers and ended up painted as divas. That label follows them forever. Fair or not, ZAY is still young, still developing. And this could either be the boldest move of his career or the biggest mistake he's ever made. There's a fine line between standing up for yourself and burning bridges, and right now, nobody knows which side of that line he's on. His camp has gone silent. No statements, no clarifications, no social media posts. That silence is fueling speculation even more. Fans are begging for answers. Analysts are dissecting every frame of his recent sideline interactions and behind the scenes. You can bet the Ravens front office is scrambling, trying to figure out how to contain this storm before it sinks their season completely. Meanwhile, the rest of the league is smelling opportunity. Executives from rival teams are already rumored to be reaching out privately, testing the waters, wondering if Baltimore might actually listen to offers. The Ravens don't want to set a precedent where a young player can just walk out and force a trade. But they also know the locker room tension could become toxic if this drags on. This is a delicate balance of pride, power, and business. Fans are glued to their screens, waiting for Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport to drop the next bombshell update. Zay Flowers walking out isn't just a Ravens story, it's an NFL-wide shockwave. Every player, every GM, every coach is paying attention. Because if this situation ends with Zay forcing his way out and landing on another contender, it could change how young stars handle conflicts with their teams moving forward. For now, all we know is this: Zay Flowers has left Baltimore, and the NFL will never be the same as the day unfolds. More layers of this bombshell story keep surfacing, and the picture gets even murkier. Several local journalists have reported that there was a heated exchange between Zay Flowers and a member of the coaching staff during yesterday's team meeting, according to these sources. The argument allegedly escalated when Zay questioned his role in the offensive scheme, saying he was tired of being used as a decoy. That word, decoy, apparently set off a firestorm. One witness described the atmosphere as explosive, claiming voices were raised, tempers flared, and at one point, a veteran player had to step in to calm things down. Hours later, Zay left the facility abruptly and hasn't been seen since. The Ravens have issued a vague statement saying they are aware of the situation and are handling it internally, which, let's be honest, only makes the mystery even juicier. This isn't just locker room tension. This feels like a full-blown fracture between a young star and an organization that might have underestimated his pride and ambition. But let's take a step back and consider the human side of this. Zay Flowers has carried himself as a hard worker since his college days, a player who's fought for every inch of recognition. For someone with that kind of mentality, feeling sidelined or underappreciated can cut deep. The NFL is brutal when it comes to egos and expectations. One week you're the golden child. The next week you're questioned for not producing enough. That roller coaster messes with anyone's mindset, especially a young player in the spotlight. If Zay truly felt like his voice wasn't being heard, walking out might have been his way of sending a message: I'm not just another piece in your system. Of course, fans and critics will debate whether that's justified, but it's hard to ignore the emotional intensity that comes with that kind of decision. Sometimes these moments aren't about contracts or numbers, they're about self-respect. Maybe this isn't about rebellion. Maybe it's about reclaiming control in a league where players rarely get any. Meanwhile, the Ravens' leadership is facing a crisis of image and identity. Coach John Harbaugh has always been known for maintaining a tight ship, a no-nonsense locker room where drama rarely leaks out, but this time, the situation feels uncontainable. The players are trying to stay focused on football, but sources say there's an undeniable sense of distraction hanging over practice. One player, speaking anonymously, said, "You can feel it. The energy's off. Everyone's walking on eggshells." That's not the kind of environment that wins championships. The Ravens were having one of their strongest seasons in years, sitting comfortably near the top of the AFC, and now they're facing a storm that could derail everything if Zay's absence stretches beyond a few days. Questions about leadership, locker room chemistry, and even Lamar's influence will dominate every sports talk show in America. You can already imagine the headlines. Has Baltimore lost control? Can Lamar Jackson save the locker room? The drama is just beginning, and it's only getting louder. The craziest part is how divided the fan base has become overnight. Ravens fans are torn. Half of them are furious at Zay, calling him selfish and immature. while the other half are defending him, saying he's standing up to a system that doesn't value creativity. Social media has turned into a battleground of opinions, with hashtags like #FreeZAY and #StayWithBaltimore trending simultaneously. It's wild. Fans are editing highlight reels, tagging other teams, imagining what Flowers would look like catching passes from Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. It's turned into a full-blown fantasy free-for-all, and yet, behind all the noise, there's a lingering sadness, because deep down, Ravens fans love this kid. They saw him as the next great Baltimore receiver, the one who could finally bring back the fire of the Torrey Smith or Steve Smith Sr. eras. Watching it all collapse so suddenly feels like heartbreak in real time. Whether you love him or blame him, you can't deny one thing: ZAY Flowers made Baltimore care. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. Now comes the part where the NFL itself might step in if the situation continues to escalate and ZAY refuses to return. League officials could get involved to mediate. The Ravens could fine him, suspend him, or place him on the non-football injury list if they suspect mental or emotional distress. But every move comes with consequences. Push too hard, and they risk turning a young star into a martyr. Go too soft, and they set a precedent other teams might fear. It's a high-stakes poker game now, and both sides are bluffing with the future on the line. Insiders claim ZAY's agent is already in contact with front offices across the league, testing trade interest, and believe me, there's interest. Teams smell blood in the water. Every hour that passes without resolution adds pressure to Baltimore's front office. The NFL thrives on storylines, and this one has everything: betrayal, emotion, business, and the question of loyalty in modern sports. It's Shakespeare with shoulder pads. As night falls and fans keep refreshing their feeds, one truth has become clear: this story is far from over. ZAY Flowers walking away from the Baltimore Ravens isn't just a headline, it's a turning point. Whether he returns, gets traded, or doubles down on his stance, this moment will define him. The Ravens will either rally around this chaos and emerge stronger, or crumble under the weight of internal conflict. And for ZAY, this could either cement his legacy as a player who stood up for his worth, or haunt him as the decision that derailed a promising career. For now, all we can do is wait for that next notification, that next leak, that next bombshell quote, because one thing's for sure: this isn't the end of the story. This is just the beginning of one of the wildest NFL sagas we've seen in years. And whatever happens next, the name ZAY Flowers will be on everyone's lips for a long, long time. Situation: anticipating opportunities to capitalize on potential trade discussions, negotiation leverage, or even psychological insights into how the Ravens handle internal conflict. Sports strategists argue that such tensions, when handled publicly or leaked strategically, can serve as both warning signals and negotiation tools in professional sports, influencing player behavior, team cohesion, and external perceptions. The intensity of speculation is compounded by Harbaugh's history of decisiveness, which has earned him respect but also fostered occasional tension, creating an environment where rumors of player-coach conflicts carry significant weight. Fans online are generating countless speculative scenarios, debating the potential outcomes and their implications for both the individual player's career and the Ravens' seasonal trajectory. While no official statements have been released, unnamed insiders emphasize that the situation is ongoing and evolving, leaving open a range of possibilities from temporary tension to permanent roster changes. The story has become a microcosm of broader debates in professional sports, highlighting the delicate balance between authority, individual talent, team cohesion, and public perception, all under the intense spotlight of the NFL media machine. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.